What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to discuss my brief guide to training hard as a natural lifter. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I'm also going to try my best to be quite transparent about this topic because I honestly believe most people who go to the gym undertrain themselves and are not getting the most out of their time spent in the gym. I would first like to talk about injury risk. When training hard, many people are afraid to train until failure, and that's because they are worried about hurting themselves. And while this may be true for people who are just starting out in their bodybuilding career, I think this deeply rooted fear is holding most experienced lifters back from achieving their highest possible potential. I truly believe that. I see time and time again guys in the gym not training to failure, and I've been seeing those same guys at that same gym for years. I'll use myself as an example. I'm not the biggest nor the strongest guy in the gym, but I do think I have one of the best natural physiques out there for my age, and I didn't get to this level until I started training my ass off on pretty much all of my sets. The footage that you see on your screen right now in this video, that's how I always train, and that is how I will continue to train. I'm a firm believer in doing everything with a purpose, and there's nothing that boggles my mind more than when I see someone with the potential to train hard and they just don't train hard. Because at that point, in my opinion, you are just wasting time. You shouldn't be at the gym. Go do something else. Your workouts need to be as efficient as possible in order to train hard the correct way. And that is what I'm going to help you out with in this video, hopefully. The first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be exercise selection. If you have a training partner, that's awesome. All right. You can absolutely train to failure on the most important movements that you can possibly do, like the squat and flat barbell bench press. Now, if you don't have a training partner, I would highly recommend using machines. Machines are one of my favorite things to utilize at the gym because I usually don't have somebody to spot me, and they are much safer. You don't have to worry about the weight of the bar crushing you or anything like that. Dumbbell bench is also something I love doing when I'm working out alone because, again, it's much safer and you don't have to worry about it when you fail because you can just drop the dumbbells to the side. You can go all out and you don't have to worry about killing yourself. As for legs, machines like a leg sled, hack squat, or even a Smith machine can be something that you might want to look into. They are awesome alternatives. And I've actually gotten a way better workout in from doing a hack squat on a Smith machine than actually doing one on a hack squat specific machine. There are also certain movements that put the body in a compromising position that I would like to talk about. One of those being the dumbbell French press, which is why I will never, ever go to absolute failure on that movement unless I'm doing the pulley version of it. Now, again, you want to minimize the risk of injury as much as possible when it comes to training hard, which is why you need to be smart about the workouts you are choosing to do. And machines, it's a great opportunity for you to go absolutely balls to the wall. Going off of that, I would highly advise you to get rid of all the junk volume in your workout. If you don't know what junk volume is, it's just unnecessary reps. You don't always have to do 3, 4, or even 5 sets on a movement. I don't really know who's doing 5 sets on a certain movement, but if you are, you don't have to be doing that unless you're doing a 5x5 strength program. If you're training for hypertrophy, you're going balls to the wall, you should probably only be doing 2 to 3 sets. After 2 sets, if you're feeling like, you're pretty much done with that movement, move on to the next one. You don't always have to do a third one. That's the point I'm trying to drive home here. When you're done, you're done. It doesn't always have to be 3 sets, 4 sets. Maybe you don't want to do 2 sets. Maybe do 3 sets. You got to kind of feel it out. And if you're going to failure, training hard, you will know. Trust me, you will know. You also should not be doing so many movements per muscle. I would only recommend 2 or 3 at most per muscle group in one session. Remember, you are most likely hitting that muscle again later on in the week. And if you're training hard, you're not going to need all those extra reps from more movements that when you're performing those movements, you aren't really performing them at your best because you're already completely gassed from the first few ones that you did for that workout. Now, the last thing I would like to touch on is how you should be stacking your workouts for a session, because trust me, it does matter the order of the workouts that you perform. I'll just give an arm day that I recently did as an example. I started off with working up to 55 bodyweight pull-ups. Then I went to dumbbell French press for the triceps. After that, I did standing barbell curl. Then I went back to another tricep movement and did flat bar pushdowns. And then I went back to a bicep, finished the workout with dumbbell incline curls. So you guys can kind of see how I stacked the workout. It was a key movement to get the arms and back going with pull-ups. Then I went to a tricep movement, then bicep, then tricep, then back to bicep. I will say it right now, I never do 2 movements back to back for the same muscle. I think it's stupid because you just went crazy hard on, let's say, bench press. Why would you go straight into incline bench right after? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think going back and forth is much more optimal because you have time to rest that muscle before going back to it. Form is something that I will touch on briefly. I think too strict of form on movements is no good, but I also think crazy cheat, swaying the weight reps are even worse. You need to find that middle ground where you can move decent weight while not compromising the muscle being worked. In other words, you shouldn't be using other muscles to compensate too much for the muscle that you're actually trying to work. I'll use, let's say, standing barbell curls. Yes, you want to move some weight. You want to go heavy. But you shouldn't be throwing your hips and your back into it. That defeats the entire purpose of the movement. Let's not forget, it is a bicep movement. Okay, if you're using your legs a shit ton, really throwing that weight up there, you're really doing yourself a huge disservice. Now guys, that pretty much is all I got for you in this one. As always, make sure you're eating right and taking your rest days when you need them. And when you're training, of course, train hard, quality over quantity. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.